Carl Langford, you were trimming on the Magic AC40 today. First of all, welcome to Barcelona and the team. We haven't seen you here before. Tell us about your role.
Yeah, I did a bit of time with the team last summer here in Barcelona, more in the coaching role, and then now I'm back. We're into a sail testing period, and so I'm here just to trim and help with the sail development.
First time sailing the AC40s, or limited time sailing the AC40s?
Yeah, day 2 on the AC40, so it was a good experience. I mean, quite different to the foiling boats that I'm used to, but I mean, I guess essentially the physics are the same, and it's just different interfaces, and the things are in different locations. So once you get your head around that, it's it's still sailing at the end of the day, and yeah, so I'm just trying to get up to speed to keep up with these guys.
What's your instant reaction to the AC40?
It's an awesome boat. I mean, it feels like a dinghy. The most similar boat I can relate it to is the Moth. Feels like you can throw that around. We did a run at the end there where we must have done 15 or 20 tacks on the upwind, and you can really throw the boats around, close quarters racing, and so yeah, it was awesome.
I had a question on my list I was going to ask you at the end, but that final run up the shore, the tacking up the shore, looked fantastic from the recon boat. How soon after completing a tack are you able to be ready to tack again?
Pretty quickly. I mean, as soon as the board's up, you can pretty much go into a tack again, and I mean, it probably takes you 10 seconds to get up to speed again, and then you can go. But if you really wanted to go back early, you could, as soon as the board's lifted, you could drop it and go straight back again. So the boats accelerate really quickly. They're very efficient, and that's kind of a bit of that exercise is just keeping the boats close and throwing some tacks at each other.
After a couple of days of struggling in very light airs, we had a near perfect testing day today. Just describe the conditions and tell us what the goal was when you went out there this morning.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of days have been a bit frustrating. There hasn't been any wind, which has actually been okay for us because we're just recommissioning the AC40s after an AC75 period. So it wasn't actually a bad thing to have light air, so we can take the boats out, test the telemetry and so on. And then today we were just fully into it, so it was awesome to have a good day of breeze. We maximised the day as best as we could, and the sun's setting and we're only just getting back to the dock, so really good to have a long day on the water and get back out there logging some hours.
We saw you test some custom mainsails today, quite different looking sails to what we've seen before. What can you tell us about them? Can you describe them for us?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess a bit of what you see is what you get. The sails are different, and I guess that's kind of where we're at in the campaign, is just testing different concepts and yeah, finding out what's best.
Very narrow head on the second mainsail we saw up there today. Would that be a heavy wind sail maybe?
I mean, it could be anything really. I mean, there's a band where you can have your sail area, and so I guess you just got to explore either end of the spectrum and see what the penalty is downrange and see what the gain is uprange, and so I guess all this information will go into designing our AC75 sails. So
after a day like this, do you come ashore with a feel for what's worked, a feel for what didn't work?
I mean, I think the team does for sure. I mean, for me personally, I'm still getting to grips with the AC40, so for me, I'm really focusing a lot on my home performance on a day like today. In the tacking exercise, I mean, I kind of made a lot of mistakes, so it's just good for me to try and log the hours and make improvements. But for sure, the team's moving forwards, and every day we can spend on the water, particularly with 2 boats, we're making big gains.
We're here with Nico Rolla from Alinghi Red Bull Racing. You were trimming on the port side of Boat Zero, the AC75 today. A long day on the water, lots of testing, some pre-starts, and a 3-lap race versus the chase boat. How did it go?
First good day since we came back from Jeddah. Very happy with the day. Plenty of stuff done, and we had a lot on the list, so really happy with the day.
Can you tell us about this morning's testing?
So today we had some system like inside boat stuff to test. Then we went through our basic maneuvers, keep improving our technique, and finished with races, pre-start and race to warm up the guys on the bike.
Nice. And the system testing you're doing, is that a focus on flight control systems?
Obviously, we are trying to optimize our flight control system, but not only. It's I think the overall system to make our new boat as fast as we can.
You spent one stint lifting the windward board up and down. First you did it upwind, and then you did it downwind. Can you tell us what you were working on?
So yeah, like you just said, we worked on some board drop, board raise, finding out what's the best speed and best angles to drop the boards, and still figuring out and learning new stuff.
Can you tell us why you only did that on the starboard foil?
I think it was just we had more clearance downwind to go out of the shore, and upwind as well. It was the longest tack and probably the easiest one.
And 4 of you from the trimmer team were on board. Can you explain what the setup is with 4 trimmers on board? Maybe 2 flight controllers and 2 sail trimmers?
So I think like every session we did on the 75, we always been more than what we're gonna be on boat 1. It's just to have everyone involved and figuring out what are the best options to trim the boat, and we are still developing and finding new ideas.
So have you got a flight controller and a sail trimmer on each side? Are you running 2 and 2?
Obviously, we're working on multiple different type of trimming and flying the boat. We went through all the ideas I think you can have, and probably this one was once on the boat, but that's not what we're doing now.
Ben Cornish, helmsman on team INEOS Britannia, today driving on the port side of boat B. Ben, finally today, much better conditions for speed testing and 2-boat racing. How did it go?
Yeah, it was great conditions. First time in a while that we've seen that sort of southwesterly breeze, and yeah, it was amazing. We were on we were on the assigned race course for the Cup this summer. So you know, it was great to be there in the right place for racing and testing the conditions.
When comparing today's speed tests to that day, the past week in which we also had similar conditions, today we noticed there was a lot more parity in the boat. Were you able finally to find the causes of the differences in boat speed between the two boats?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you observed, it was reasonably close today. You know, part of that might be the difference in conditions, but the team, you know, they're working hard behind the scenes to take this as a bit of a project, you know, try and find where are the differences, and you know, it's a bit of a homework session for them, let's say, to get to the bottom of it. But it's good.
In terms of boat tuning, did the two boats had the same boat tuning today, the same tension on the lowers, on the uppers, and the rest of the variables?
Yeah, we normally leave that really reasonably consistent.
Then going into racing, lots of pre-starts today.
Yep.
Also good parity in between the boats. Many pre-starts won by boat B, the one in which you were. Do you consider the other boat has some work pending in terms of pre-starts?
Yeah, I mean, certainly didn't feel on board like we won as many as you say we did, but you know, there's quite a few critical moments in the pre-starts where, you know, a tiny error from one team or another can be the difference of winning or losing the start. So you know, conditions like today, you know, the swell was still up, so there's variables and there's timings, and it's, you know, it's ironing it all out, and essentially it's sharpening all the helmsmen up for when it means business in the summer.
And then when talking about the non-one design Jeep that was on boat A today,
yep.
Do you expect that Jeep to have better performance at the pre-starts when maneuver, whenever you need to accelerate and take off, maybe?
Yeah, possibly. You know, they'll have their areas where they're stronger or weaker than the one designs, but not specifically for anything.